The FM24 winter update is here, and with that comes a whole new host of improved Wonderkids. We've also got new Wonderkids that have been added to the game, but we'll talk about them in a future video. Today, we'll be focusing on those players that have done really well this season and have been given a potential boost in FM, making some of these guys some of the best Wonderkids that you can sign this year. And we're going to start off with 4 interesting players. These guys haven't necessarily had an increase in their potential. Instead, they've gone from having a potential range to a fixed potential, which we class as an upgrade because it means on a more consistent basis they will reach a higher level. The first one is Florian Wirtz, of course, now 20, won't be a Wonderkid for too long, but he's been tearing it up this season for Bayer Leverkusen, as most of their players have. Someone that was already a great transfer to make in your saves anyway if you could sign him. Now he's guaranteed to hit over 180 potential in every save should you develop him. He no longer has a potential range, and just so you know, for all of the players in this list, I'm not going to tell you any of their exact potential ratings because we don't want to spoil anything. All you need to know is Florian Wirtz, more often in your saves, is going to be top draw. Now that also applies for Tottenham's Destiny Udogie, who's been brilliant under Ange Postecoglou. Other than a red card against Chelsea, Udogie has done a pretty good job this season and has been granted a fixed potential in-game. In every single save you load up now, he'll have a potential of over 170. 2 more players to go that have had their potential range moved to a fixed potential. The first one is Ivorian centre-back Abakar Silla. With his immense leadership, often gets 20 leadership once he is fully developed. He's now got a pretty high fixed potential, meaning in most saves he will turn in to one of the most elite defenders in world football. Can be bought for pretty cheap. I believe he's one of those transfers that Strasbourg have made under this Chelsea umbrella in the hopes that one day he might move to Chelsea. An interesting one, definitely one to check out in your saves. If you haven't seen him yet in FM24, even before the winter update, this guy is next level when he's fully grown. And the final player that fits that bill of getting a fixed potential is Julio Enciso, one of many Brighton players who's seen their potential rating increased with the FM24 winter update. The Paraguayan is a phenomenal talent and Brighton have done very well yet again, finding a great Wonderkid from the world of football. 70 million price point, very expensive, but a great player. Before we continue with the rest of this list, so don't forget, if you are enjoying the video or you just want to give us a huge boost here on YouTube, then smash that like button for us because it really will help, and subscribe as well if you haven't already. We do daily Football Manager content here on the channel, and with the winter update coming out, you don't want to miss some of the videos that we've got coming up. Comment down below your favourite Wonderkid that you've seen since the winter update, and the last thing is if you want to check out more FM content, I have my own channel which you can find linked in the description. All Football Manager stuff, but it's more entertainment based as opposed to the informative stuff that we do here on FMSCOUT. So if you enjoy me, I really do think you'll enjoy the content if you do go and check it out. But with that being said, let's get back to our list. And all of these guys now fit into the same bill that they have had their potential range increased, and there are some brilliant players in this list to take a look at. I'm going to start off with one of my favourites and we'll finish with my favourite of the whole bunch. So this one is Connor Bradley. As many would expect, the Liverpool defender has had an increase in his potential and his current ability too. The 19-year-old Northern Irish international was player of the season, I want to say, at Bolton last year on loan, and now he's walked straight into the Liverpool team when Trent's been injured and made it look like he's been there forever. Great attributes across the park, brilliant getting forward, and can even play naturally as a wing back, so definitely one to check out now if you haven't seen him before in FM. Another player that's been upgraded is Brighton's Jackhinwood. Obviously Brighton have been brilliant at finding Wonderkids from world football and signing them, but this is a homegrown academy product. I've got to be honest, even though he has had a potential increase, I think at 18 his attributes aren't quite the best. I'm not saying he won't turn into a good player in your saves. With that potential, he's obviously going to grow a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of the attributes he's got on paper. That being said, he has had a potential increase. I believe his potential range is now 140 to 170 if I'm correct. So for example, if we check him in this save, obviously this can vary now, so this isn't a spoiler. If we use the in-game editor, you can see he's got 148 potential here, which is actually on the lower side that he can have, but you see what I mean. These guys have had an increase in potential and they're now way more likely to become stars in your save. Another Premier League upgrade, it's Kobbie Mainoo of Manchester United. Of course, the youngster has broke into the first team and he's looked like he's been there forever. Actually looks a bit more experienced than some of their more experienced players currently. Very good technically, great on the ball with good mental attributes and very good physical attributes as well for a player that is only 18. In the next few years or so, he's going to develop massively in your saves between the ages of 18 and 20, and he really will go on to be an elite level talent. He's considered a squad player at Mayu, valued at 100 million, now has a potential range of 150 to 180, so near enough guaranteed to be a Premier League quality player, if not higher, world-class world-class elite talent in some saves pretty much every time now, so definitely want to try and sign if you can somehow pull that kind of money out the bag. A wonder kid that was already brilliant but has now got even better is Kenan Yildiz of Juventus. The Turkish international is someone that I've used a lot on my rebuilds on my channel, and he's turned into an absolute gem every time, so the fact that he's now got an even better potential range, he has an even higher ceiling, it just blows me away. This guy is a phenomenal talent, a brilliant player who can play as a striker but also operate in that number 10 position. I've had success using him in the shadow striker role, despite the fact that it's considered his worst role here. Maybe I've got it a bit wrong when I've chose that role for him, but he's done really well there. A great creator, goal scorer, great on the ball as well, can take a man on. Certainly one of my favourite wonder kids of this year, I'd say. 8 players to go now, and we have the highest potential in the game, which is Endri. His potential range originally before the winter update was maxed at 190. The only player that could actually get up to a 200 potential in your save was Lamine Yamal. Now though, Endrick has joined him. The two Spanish giants both have a very promising youngster coming through the ranks. It won't be long before we see him playing for Real Madrid, and in most saves you're never going to have a chance to sign him, but who knows, maybe if Real don't give him a go and you're able to bring him to your club, you could get a massive talent for your team. Next we have Warton, now of Crystal Palace, formerly of Blackburn, moved in the January transfer window. He's now got a valuation of 50 million, and you can see why. Yes, his potential range has been increased, but his starting attributes are so good for a 19-year-old. 14 dribbling, 16 first touch, 16 passing, 16 technique, 15 vision, the list could go on. Isn't the best in the defensive phase, but in terms of creativity, Warton is now top draw if he wasn't already. A future England international potentially, he's going to smash it at Crystal Palace. 6 players to go, getting close to my favourite. This one though is a player that is going to be joining Manchester City. This is Savio, on loan from Troy at Girona, who of course are doing really well in La Liga. Now he isn't actually set in game yet to be joining Man City, so maybe I'm getting that wrong. Has that not been officially confirmed yet? If it has been officially confirmed, I imagine there'll be another mini update in a few weeks or so when some of these later transfers are updated in game. But either way, irrespective of what club he's at, Savio, the Brazilian 19-year-old, is a fantastic player. A great wing option who's natural on either side but does like to cut in onto that left foot, cutting inside from the right wing. Great acceleration, agility. In terms of one-on-one wingers that defenders are going to deal with, the 19-year-old Brazilian is going to be one of their biggest nightmares. Samu Omoro Dion is a player that we've checked out in a wonder kid to superstar before, and he turned into a world-class superstar striker, one of the best players the world had ever seen, and that was because not only is he a good wonder kid, but he's got really good physical attributes that help him in the in-game engine. Well, he's got even better now. A potential range increase means he can now reach a higher level, and the worst possible version of him is going to be much better than it was before, so you'll be seeing him turning into a superstar in more of your saves as you play FM this year. 15 strength, 16 acceleration, 14 pace, 16 jumping reach. He is a nightmare for defenders to deal with. We're closing in towards the end of the list now, and we've got my favourite player to come, so make sure you have liked the video if you've enjoyed it and got any use. But this player that we're looking at next is in the Eredivisie. It's AZ Alkmaar's breakthrough prospect, Jaden, who again has had a potential range increase. He's probably not my favourite wonder kid in this list. His starting attributes leave a bit to be desired, but when you remember he is only 17, you can kind of forgive him. This guy has got loads of potential, good starting ability as well. I imagine in most saves he'll get a chance at AZ, tear up the Eredivisie and make a huge move pretty quickly. Then we have Lenny, the Lille centre-back, 17 years of age, and when you say 17 and see these kind of attributes, it does blow you away. 6'3", 15 jumping reach, 15 heading, good tackling ability, but can also play the ball fairly well. Don't get me wrong, isn't the best ball playing defender, but he can do it at a decent level. I don't actually think £20 million or so is the worst fee at all, considering he's this good at 17. In the next couple of years, between 17 and 19, you'll see really big growth, particularly in those physical attributes. His mentals are already top notch. Even though he's a breakthrough prospect at Lille, I think he'll get opportunities pretty early on, and if you don't sign him quickly, I imagine he'll turn into a very expensive player. The final Brighton player in this list, and our second to last player, is Fundo, 18 years of age, has had a potential range increase and is now considered one of the best wonder kids in this year's game. The Argentinian, if I'm remembering correctly, now has a potential range of 150 to 180. For example, again in this save, he's got 165 potential ability, smack bang in the middle of that potential range of 150 to 180. So this is the most average version of Buonanotte that you will find in your save, and he is phenomenal. Not only does he have huge potential, but his starting attributes are so good for a player at the age of 18. Very well rounded in a bunch of areas. He's got 14 long shots as well, valued at £100 million though. I think most teams aren't going to be able to buy him off Brighton, but I'm sure if you go a few years in in your save, Chelsea will send them a big wad of cash and take another one of their players. But now we get on to my favourite wonder kid of this whole list, the final player, and I think you guys are going to love him, and that is Franco Mastantuono, a 15-year-old playing for River Plate out in Argentina, valued at only £5 million on a youth contract. At the age of 15, his attributes are incredible. In the number 10 position, yes, his vision is lacking, but he's got 15 passing, 14 technique, 15 first touch, 14 finishing, 14 dribbling, and those physical and mental attributes will iron themselves out. The fact that he starts off so good technically at such a young age bodes really well for the future. Is he the next Dybala? Do you want to call him the next Lionel Messi? Probably not too soon, but River Plate clearly have a talent on their hands, and one that you all need to sign in your saves should you want to. By the time he's 18, the same age as most of the other wonder kids in this list, he is going to be on another level to them. So make sure you check him out in your next save and sign him if you can. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the most improved wonder kids, but coming soon in a few days will be the best new wonder kids that weren't even classed as wonder kids before this update and now have got into that bracket and could be some big signings for your save. So keep your eyes out for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.